Hello, this is a video response to a question from Who Wants to Live Forever. Well, I was an atheist from about the age of 14 or 15 for all the usual reasons, inconsistencies in the Bible, the hypocrisy of the so-called religious that I would see around me, the problem with evil in the world. But I suppose most convincingly it was the ability of science to shine the light of reason into the dark places of our ignorance, where we once thought God could be the only light. So once I came to that conclusion, I decided that God could safely be discarded. So for a long time I was an unashamed sort of materialist reductionist. There was no purpose or reason for existence. We were just a quirky happenstance in a vast, largely empty, largely life-free universe. As for life, well, if you were lucky enough to survive your birth and your infancy, and you had incredible good fortune to be able to go to school, then you could look forward maybe to an education which might give you an advantage in acquiring a job, which you could spend 40 or 50 years or more at before retiring, and with any luck dying peacefully in your sleep. After that, well, you were just worm food. If you were a sort of romantic type, if you could maybe sort of content yourself with thinking of the possibility that some of your atoms might end up in the body of a bird and they could be soaring majestically through the heavens or something. But all in all, that was more or less the long and the short and all of it. I suppose for me, things started to change when I was about 26. I'd just got married, and I was on my way to Romania with a busload of aid destined for some orphanages. This wasn't too long after the Romanian Revolution, and the plight of those poor children was being relayed on our TVs more or less weekly, if not nightly. On the journey over, it took us 3 days driving across. On the journey over, I sort of began to ask myself, what was I doing this for? What was the purpose in it? I mean, what was the evolutionary driving force behind for non-reciprocal altruism like this? Why was I and others like me sort of putting ourselves at risk to help those who had no connection with us? I mean, why was I doing it? For me, science couldn't provide a sort of convincing, satisfactory explanation. And it dawned on me then that science itself had limits, which is something in truth, I really hadn't considered before. But then again, the big questions were still there. The big questions about sort of life, the universe, and everything, to quote Douglas Adams. I mean, things like, why was there anything at all? Why were we able to make sense of the universe? Had the universe suddenly become aware of its own existence whenever we started asking questions? After that, I sort of began to examine everything around me, and I began to examine sort of the incredible good fortune that we seem to find ourselves in. I would look at seemingly innocuous things like glass and try to imagine how our understanding of the universe would have developed without it. I would consider sort of the incredible coincidence of our moon, and how total eclipses have furthered our understanding of the sun and helped to confirm Einstein's theories using parallax. I would consider the incredible good fortune that life arose here and not on a planet somewhere near the galactic centre, because our skies would have been so filled with the light from billions of other stars, or hundreds of thousands of other stars, that would have been unaware of the rest of the universe. So it seemed there was coincidence after coincidence, good fortune after good fortune, and they appeared time and time again. And so I could no longer accept that this was all a purposeless, pointless fluke. It just smelled a wee bit too much like a put-up job to me at that stage. As I say, all this took place over a period of say 10, 11 years. You know, I didn't have any sort of road to Damascus conversion or anything. So then in February 2001, I attended a Cursillo weekend. Cursillo is a Spanish word, it means short course. And it was basically a sort of a short course in Christianity. And it was presented by sort of lay people, religious and the clergy. And I have to say, for me, it was one of the most humbling experiences of my life. I witnessed firsthand the transformative nature of Christianity, firsthand, that it worked, that it delivered. And so I began to consider that maybe this Jesus guy was a real deal, you know. So, I mean, that then was the beginning of my sort of stumbling, faltering journey back to God. And it's a journey I'm still on, and I'm learning new things every day, and I have my fallbacks, I have my drawbacks, you know. But it's a course that I've stepped out on, and I can honestly say, hand on heart, that I haven't looked back. You know, as C.S. Lewis put it, I guess, I believe in Christianity as I believe the sun rises. Not just because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. Look after yourself. Peace.